Here we go again, Wahoo fans. The the Wahoos barely squeak by the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Is this the norm?
You are Locked On Virginia, your daily podcast on the Virginia Cavaliers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Good day, viewers and listeners. I am your host, Big Law Lawrence Johnson, and welcome to the Locked On Virginia Cavaliers Podcast, the first place to come to get your Wahoo fix every day as part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Today's date is 2/19/2023. This will serve as the post game for another squeaker with the University of Virginia against Notre Dame. But let's get this title sponsor read. With LinkedIn Jobs, you can hire qualified candidates more efficiently by matching open roles with people who have the skills, values, and experiences to help you achieve your 2023 goals. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. Man, oh man. As I said in this cold open, everybody, why? Why must you guys do this to us? I know we branded you guys the cardiac calves, but do you really have to live up to it? You know, in almost every way necessary. I mean, we're facing, quite frankly, the two worst teams in the ACC, the two bottom feeders, these last two games, which Louisville, one win in the ACC in conference play, barely got by them by 3 points. And that was something that, and that was on the road, and that was something that, we all really didn't expect. But you can kind of understand a little bit of it. Your shooting slump is kind of, manifesting itself nowadays. And then you're looking at another game, the next game, which is the second worst team, quite frankly, in the ACC. They only have 2 ACC wins. So what are we doing now? Where do we go from here, guys, being that we're, quite frankly, the top team in the ACC officially? Because I believe Miami did some dirty work for the Wahoos and beat Clemson. I'm sorry. They beat Pitt. And Pitt right now is a half game behind UVA. UVA currently right now 21-4 overall record, 13-3. So right now UVA is alone at the top of the ACC, but is it all done by smoke and mirrors, magic and hocus pocus? It seems that way. Tony Bennett is pulling off his best David Blaine, or I'll say David Copperfield, something maybe some of you young bucks don't know about. David Copperfield back in the day was the biggest magician back in the day for us 40, 50 somethings. But this is what I'm saying, man. Are we setting up for a big downfall? Are we setting up for a big heartbreak? Because right now UVA has won, I think it's 11 out of 12, 12 out of 13 games. And these last two against, quite frankly, the worst teams in the ACC, we're barely squeaking by. We beat the two worst teams in the ACC by a total of 5 points. They just get by Notre Dame 57-55. I was kind of speechless watching it because, I'm just saying anytime now, Wahoos, any moment you can have let's get an explosion going, and let's put some points up, because this team, as I said in my show previously when I did the tail of the tape, I said this team could be super dangerous for the Wahoos. Number one, they don't turn the ball over. Number two, they can shoot threes. at an exponential rate. They're one of the top 3-point shooting teams in the ACC. And then number 3, their pace of play. They play a very similar pace of play. See, UVA's style of play, obviously, starting to fluctuate now. We don't know what we're going to get from game to game. Beginning of the year, we were a 3-point shooting team or a jump shooting team. We got open shots. We could score kind of at will. Guys, everybody's scoring. Toward the early middle of the season, we were kind of had a little bit of a lull, lost a few games, but then after the adjustment by Coach Bennett, we went to like a small ball starting team. We could hit shots. We were shooting all over the place. Everybody on the floor could score. One of the first times, or one of the only times you'll ever see Coach Bennett substitute scoring for defense. All of it was on fire. Now it's kind of slowly transitioned into something that I don't like what I'm watching right now, which is a team that is struggling to score in all aspects. And I'm not talking just missing the free throws. They've had that issue for the last 4 games now. They did have a little bit of a bounce back shot, 75%, but it should be that and better always from a University of Virginia team. But also, shooting threes have gone downhill. They cannot make their threes open or covered. Not sure what's happening. Even Isaac McNeely had an offer in making threes this game. They're sharpshooter. And then, how about this? They're missing bunnies. Bunnies are what we call free throws on the hard court. Okay, if y'all don't know what that is. A bunny is a layup. A bunny is a quick shot, an easy shot. You're right at the rim. Reese Beekman's missed bunnies. Jaden Gardner's missing bunnies. I don't know what's happening with that. That's something. And Kihei Clark, of course, I see why, because he's a short guy. He's missed some bunnies, but he's also been leading the team in this hard stretch. There's one thing that I can say that I'm excited about, with this team winning the ways that they are. But before I get into the reasons why, as a small business owner or hiring manager, you know that success in 2023 all depends on the team members you surround yourself with. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. With LinkedIn Jobs, you can hire qualified candidates more efficiently by matching open roles with people who have the skills, values, and experiences to help you achieve goals. LinkedIn Jobs helps you quickly attract qualified candidates to your open jobs with targeting tools. They go beyond the resume data by using insights from your job posts, company, and their 875 million member profiles to put your post in front of the most qualified candidates. Identify the most qualified candidates on LinkedIn Jobs and connect with them fast and for free. LinkedIn Jobs makes it easy to screen and rate applications based on job qualifications, all on one platform. It's a great way. The 2023, they are, in 2023, this is the time, to get your company back on track. Things are opened back up. So let's get the proper people at your organizations. It's why small businesses rank LinkedIn Jobs number 1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. We got to thank you for making Locked On Virginia your first listen every day. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from the big name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. But as I was saying before, going back to what I was saying, things that I am excited about, or something. I'm not going to say it's too many multiple things because I'm excited about the wins. I'll give you that. I like the fact that the team is winning, and the fact that Kihei Clark has really stepped up and proved to be the little general that I've always called him. He runs the team. Anyone who has something else to say about Kihei, they can shut it. They can eat crow. They can grill the crow. They can boil the crow. However you want to eat the crow, just eat the crow. Because right now, Kihei Clark is the man, and he's the reason why this team has won 12 out of 13 games to this point right now in the season. But the thing that I'm happy about is the fact that they're winning in all different kinds of ways. 2 games ago, abysmal free throw shooting, abysmal 3-point shooting. The defense played tough, but they won the game. Game before that, or the game after that, they abysmal free throw shooting again, abysmal 3-point shooting, but they could shoot the two, and the defense held up. This game, abysmal 3-point shooting, abysmal 2-point shooting, abysmal 3-2. They shot okay from free throw line, and they also learned to drive to the bucket these last 4 or 5 games. They're getting into the paint. They would not have won these games last year, 2 years, 3 years ago. Anytime after the championship year of 2019, they don't win these games because they kept depending on shooting jumpers. And then the defense wasn't good enough to slow a team down. But that's not the case with this team. They actually have some defense, similar, not totally locked down, similar to what you're used to seeing from a Tony Bennett defense, but they play defense well enough to slow teams down. And that's what you need. The difference was before these droughts they're getting into was they could shoot from deep. They could score mid-range. Now they're just starting to have just issues all over. And Tony Bennett said himself, he said, I would like for us to make those layups. I know Jade has missed a few. I know that Kihei's missed a couple. I know that Reese has missed a few. I think what the deal is it's a concentration factor that the team is not zeroing in. I don't know if it's them not focusing on follow through. You know what I mean? There's, things that you do that, you're good at, something that you can do, meaning, second nature. Follow through isn't second nature. Follow through is a concentrated practiced something that you do, duty. Follow through always isn't a given. In order to follow through, you can put the effort in, but if you don't follow through is more of a concentration technique. And if they're not following through, that means they're not finishing. You got to continue to practice and focus on following through. And I don't think that they are following through when it comes to the free throws, when it comes to their 3-point shots, when they're talking, when they come to some of their layups, they're missing layups. Some of these games, and they're winning like this, they should be scoring way more points. It's just things that they usually would, that they usually would do, they're not doing, and things you would always expect. Notre Dame 10-17, record, 10 wins, 17 losses, 2-14 in the ACC, 2 wins, 14 losses. They have no business, no way in the world they should be hanging with UVA, 13-3 in the ACC, tops, number 17 in the nation, 21-4 in the for their record. It's mind-boggling, that this team is having this many issues. And I know some teams lose concentration and they start to struggle. But this is not the norm for University of Virginia. Usually they are a model of consistency. And usually when they struggle against good teams, really good teams. And I know that the ACC is a little topsy-turvy right now, where some of the teams that you expect to be good, meaning the Dukes and Carolinas, are struggling some. And they are. Carolina took another bad L today against NC State. NC State still hanging around out there, guys. Pitt, another team hanging around. Clemson, Miami, all these teams, non-blue bloods, doing their thing and trying to get that ACC crown from the Wahoos. Right now, they sit atop the ACC. So let's talk about Kihei, my man. Kihei, got to honor the guy. The man, is now not only the most, has the most minutes, has the most games played in a Virginia uniform in the ACC. He's also the top assist man for the University of Virginia Cavaliers in the history of the basketball program, taking over for John Crotty. He needed 684 to get there, and he got it in this game. I was just glad that the game wasn't a loss to spoil the honor that Kihei has worked for and has accomplished. I mean, right now Kihei is on fire, in my opinion. He's finding out, it's a different part of his game I've never seen from him before. Kihei, when he's open, he shoots pretty good, pretty well. Shoots about 40%, 38% from three. And the big difference with Kihei is he's learning to drive to the bucket. That's a huge, huge difference from him for his previous 4 years. He's found out how to get to the bucket. He's found out how to draw fouls. He's, quite frankly, turning into, one of the best players. He's always kind of been one of the best players on the team, and always kind of been the unquestioned leader. But he's turning into, what I was thinking that Reese Beekman is, and he is. Reese Beekman is the most NFL, NBA prospect player with his body, his style of play, the way that he is. Reese Beekman is that guy. But right now, the best player on the team and playing the best is Kihei Clark out of all the Wahoos that are out there. So shout out to Kihei. Congratulations for taking over the top assist crown from John Crotty at the University of Virginia. Keep rocking, Kihei. They're going to sorely miss you. I know that a lot of the coaches will be glad when Kihei's out of there, but we're going to miss you, Kihei. And congratulations on that record. So right now, the team, the focus I was talking about, it's not been there. They're not focusing on finishing their layups. And it's concerning. I was thinking that if they were finishing their layups, finishing their shots, why are we still tight, with these teams, which they shouldn't be? If they finish their layups, if they hit their open shots, the game's not even close, which is what they were doing in the beginning of the year. Their average, from a stat-wise, the most of the year, they're beating teams by 10 points. That's slowly starting to shrink now, and it's starting to shrink against the worst teams in the ACC. Some that we're going to have to keep a check on, keep a lookout for. I don't know. We got to see how this all shakes out, with Kihei and the rest of these Wahoos. But before we go any further with some more Wahoo basketball news, looking for a delicious treat but don't want the fat and calories? Then you got to try Built Bar. We just got through the holidays, and I know my goal is to eat a little healthier this year. If you're like me, where you want to eat healthier but don't want to compromise taste, then man, I've got just the thing for you. You gotta try Built. With Built, healthier is actually tasty. Seriously. They're so delicious you won't think they're good for you. Perfect for your New Year's resolutions. What makes Built so good? Well, for starters, they are covered in 100% real chocolate. That's right, real chocolate. And they come in unbelievably good flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, coconut almond. I'm not sure how Built does it, but these bars taste like a candy bar while maintaining amazing macros. And what's even better, is that they are healthy. Only 130 calories and 4 grams of sugar with a whopping 17 grams of protein. And now you don't need to wait around to get a box. For years, we've been talking about ordering your Built bars at Built.com. Now you can get them at your local Walmart or Sam's Club. That's right. Head to your nearest Walmart today, walk to the pharmacy section, and grab yourself a box of Built bars. You can pick up four boxes of cookies, cream, double chocolate, or coconut puffs. If you're close to Sam's Club, run in and grab a 13-bar box with our hit flavors brownie batter and churro. You can thank me later. Thank you for making Locked On Virginia your first listen every day. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear the big name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College Basketball, available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. But as I was saying before, guys, I don't know where we're going here. I spoke about how this team was difficult to play for the Wahoos, just their style of play. You know how they say in the game of boxing, styles makes fights, okay? This was a style makes fights trap game for the Wahoos. Number one, their pace of play, very similar to the Wahoos. Number three, their main focus on how they typically score is they can shoot threes. They can shoot from deep. They got 3 guys who can really shoot the ball. And then number 3, they don't turn the ball over, okay? Which is something that UVA always does well in. They turn you over, and they don't turn the ball over to you. So that means that the possessions are definitely going to be limited against a team that can shoot threes that you're playing against, and you're in a cold streak, a very bad cold streak of not making your outside shots. That's where the Wahoos are right now. We've got to fix it. We've got to change it. I want to see what Tony Bennett has for the next game. And let's talk about this next game we have coming up. They play, again, the Boston College Eagles, a team that they did not blow out, a team that has played well as of late, another team that's near the bottom of the ACC, but not to be ignored and not to be overlooked. Just another team to ruin the hopes of UVA winning the ACC regular season. But this is the ACC late in the season. You just don't expect for the best team in the league to struggle the way that these Wahoos have struggled during this late part of the season. Let me tell you about the last 4 games they have left in the season. I mean, we're looking at, I said BC, then they got a struggling UNC program who still has the ridiculous talent that you look for. 5 stars everywhere, 4-star talents, even some tenured guys. Remember, this team was in a championship game last year. A lot of the players are back. Believe me, they need a win against UNC. So after they get this game, UVA finished playing BC, they got to buckle down because UNC is coming to town. I will be in the building, and I will be watching and hoping that we can pull it out against this team. But they need a quad 1 win in the worst way to make the tournament. They're one of the teams that are in trouble, that they may not make the tournament, even though they were in the championship game last year. Then after that, they got Clemson, who has kind of come back to the pack. They've been leading the ACC for most of the year. So we'll see, what happens with the Clemson team. By the time the Wahoos get to them, they come to the Wahoos next Tuesday, which is the last day of February. And then that weekend, they follow it up with the Louisville team that only lost by 3 points against the Wahoos, and that'll be a home game as well. So coming down to the stretch right here. Thank goodness the games are at home. Will the Wahoos reinvent themselves, or will they continue to struggle? We'll have to see how this saga plays out. But, I'm I'm all in. I'll be, on the road for these games to help you guys digest it all and cover it. Remember, I'll do a post game and a pre-game tailor tape and a post game. Then I'll also do a post game quick reaction now while I'm in the stadium. So stay tuned, guys. It just keeps getting better and better. Also, my guy Casey Pizzalia is doing all of my baseball coverage, or some of my baseball coverage for this as well. So you'll get an opportunity to get a little bit more acquainted with him. He does the Virginia Game Day podcast. That's his brand. And we'll be doing some baseball come baseball season and some lacrosse. But just make sure you check us out, and we will continue this journey together to March Madness. Got to thank you guys for tuning in. And thank you for making Locked On Virginia your first listen today, every day. Make sure you check out our brand new podcast, Locked On College Basketball. Everything you need to know about college basketball in one place. Plus, hear from the big name experts, insiders, coaches, and players. Locked On College Basketball. Available on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you guys. I'll see you tomorrow, and Wahoo.